just a moment ago. It's been very, very cold in Melbourne, so I'm thinking that's what actually happened out in the studio. So I've had to come back inside to my house, so we'll just close the door from the sun, or the curtain at least, from the sun. But anyway, hopefully you can all hear me now, and I'm sorry for the technical issues. But anyway, we are finally back here now, and I've left all my papers outside, but that's okay. I can kind of remember what we're talking about now. So today I thought, look, we'll get into talking about, the wholesale side of it all first, because, that's something that lots and lots of people have been asking me about, all about the wholesale and how this is all working. Oh, hi from Perth. How are you, my love? Hi, Mackenzie. Yeah, sorry about the technical issues, but it's been very cold, so I'm really sorry. Good morning, Trish. How are you? I hope you're doing well in this freezing cold Melbourne. And last night, my husband and I went out to dinner with a friend, and it was like 4.5 degrees in the morning, so it was really, really cold. And that's Celsius, everybody. From Connecticut, hello, lovely. How are you? Canada, I knew that there'd be a few. I do get quite a few questions from Canada, so... yeah, and I'm really, really well, Mackenzie. So I am sorry that my internet had a bit of a failure, but that's all right. We all got here in the end, so that's what matters. So now, yeah, it's freezing, Trish. I mean, you're in Melbourne too, so I know that you'll be the same. It's really, really cold. But yeah, so we went to a lovely friend's house. And look, everyone, before we get into this, let's talk about this. Hello, how are you, my love? Hi, Leanne. Look, hi, Karen. Lots of people, do sort of say to me, oh, well, I make friends in the industry, and people that I talk to or that message me or send me flowers, my dad passed away, sent me flowers, and were just so nice. They're all friends that I've met through this industry. So never think you're not going to meet people through the industry. Last night we had a lovely dinner, my husband and myself, with another couple, and, that was actually somebody I met in the industry. So, because lots of people do ask me, like, oh, will I make friends, or, is it all competition? It's not all competition. You will make some friends. So please don't feel like you're not going to make friends in the industry. You will. So feel like you can share. Some people won't share with you, let's be honest. But, look, some will, and some will really help you. I mean, look, I've taught people to make bath bombs when they've been absolutely desperate and they've been let down by someone or something. And I've said, look, come over, I'll quickly help you and set you up. So, not everyone's mean and looks at competition like that or says mean things. So anyway, but I just needed to bring that out. Now, I wanted to talk about wholesale. This is a big thing that lots of people have asked me. And this week, I reckon I've had maybe 20 questions about it. So I'll give you two different scenarios. So basically, either you can try and find your own wholesale, which I'm going to be honest, that's hard. It's a real hard gig, because a lot of shops will say no because they go through platforms. And, we all know the platform called Fair. Lots of people are on that. But to be honest, if you're in Australia, that's more of an American one. Like, yes, it is in Australia. People use it. Of course they do. But there is an Australian one, which the government or this particular company, they actually got quite a lot of millions and millions of dollars to actually set this up to be on a playing field for Australia. And it's called Trade Square. So that's where I'm on. I'm on Trade Square, and my main thing was I wanted to support an Australian business, because in Australia, for those of you that are in the US or Canada or other countries, it's really hard to get businesses and things off the ground, because we have like so much less, and our population is probably only 20% of America. It's really small, so it's harder to sell things, harder to get a business going, and harder to be successful. Only a small handful end up being successful. And honestly, even on YouTube, if an Australian makes it on YouTube, they're doing all right, because a lot of people say that they find it really hard on YouTube being an Aussie, because a lot of people, will go to American people. So I see like an American startup on YouTube, and they just boom straight away. Where Australians, it's really hard. And that's why a lot of Aussies ask me, questions because they're like, oh, how did you do it? But sometimes I just think, honestly, it's just hard work and continuously being seen and being known. But, anyway, I've got off track a bit, but I thought I'll just mention that because I do get a few questions about that. So now Wholesale, how it actually works with, I'll talk about Trade Fair because, not Trade Square because I'm not on Fair. So with Trade Square, basically what you do is, you go through a process, they talk to you, then you'll have lots of different meetings and Zoom meetings. Then they will just say, how much do you want to give on Wholesale? You have to give at least 40 to 50% off your retail markup. And then if you've got a Shopify website, they will actually merge your website into theirs. So basically, if somebody buys, say, 10 bath bombs, that will come off your inventory on your normal Shopify. But they are buying through that platform and you get charged fees. So that's pretty much in a nutshell how it works. And your fees, you can choose 2 different ones at the moment. So you can choose like 7%, which they take 7% off your total. That's not the shipping, that's just off your total, but then you're meant to give free shipping to the customer. For me, that does not work out viable at all, and lots of soap makers would say the same because candles and soaps are heavy. So, and then there's another percentage where you can take 15%, they keep 15%, but they pay for the shipping. You've just got to send them the invoices for the shipping, and then they give you the money back once a month. But, the thing with all of these things is basically you've got to make it, you've got to send it out within the time frame that you say, which is usually 3 days or 5 days. And then once you send it, you log in your tracking details, which is through Shopify anyway, or Trade Square. And once you log that in, 14 days later, they'll actually pay you. So if you don't do all of that, you don't get any money. I mean, you have to do all of those things. So that's basically, like I said, in a bit of a nutshell, a small portion of how that particular platform works. And Fair is very similar. Oh, you just signed up to Shopify, Jan. You'll be fine, lovely. You'll be fine. Make sure you go over. If you're confused or anything or need help, just go over and talk to Anna from House of Cart, which I did have an interview with her. And there's actually a link in my last video, and if you link onto that, you'll get a 15-minute chat with her for free. So she usually charges $75 for that, but anyone that goes onto my YouTube and links onto that one, which is in the description of the Shopify interview with her, then just go over that, and she'll answer all your questions and help you and kind of guide you, and then you can choose to, go your own way or get her help. So, but she is really good. Honestly, if you're nervous and you're not good at it, I suggest that you speak to someone like that, and they don't just take over your website. They actually teach you to run it. That's what I like about that. It's because the thing is, when you get a web developer or something, and some of them are good. The guy that did mine did a great job. But, the thing is, if you're getting somebody to continuously do it, it's really hard. Hi, Joe. How my love? I hope you are doing well on this very cold 11 a.m. Sunday morning. Well, Sunday in Australia. Sunday in Australia. So, but I know in the US, probably Saturday at night time, or Canada, similar. So, but yeah, so anyway, so like I said, that is a bit about just the Wholesale platform. You do need to create what's called a line document. I'll do a bit of more of a video on that. I've done a few in Patreon. I have actually given lots of examples and, gone through that quite a bit, but, I will actually do a video on that as well. So then you can understand that just a little bit more. And line sheets, all basically it is you might have a main picture of, say, your candle if you're making candles, and then under that you'll have, sub context of all of that as well. Yeah, oh, okay, great, Jan. Yeah, Anna is very good. She really is good. I do suggest that you speak to her, and, I'm sure she'll guide you in the right way. So, you can tell her you found us. She'll know anyway. So, but yeah, no, she was very good to talk to, Anna. And she will be at the conference as well in 2023 on the gala night. She will be doing a presentation. She's a guest speaker. So I know lots of people are going to want that. They're definitely going to want that. Oh, staying warm in your PJs from Altona Meadows. I know where that is. I used to live in the city over, well, you know, not in the north, but on the city side of Melbourne when I was a teenager with my dad. So, yeah, so I do know where that is, lovely. So, yeah, it is very, very cold. So now, yeah, so as I said, you know, go over to Shopify if anyone needs some help from Anna. But today, like I said, we're talking about more the wholesale side. So, and as I was saying, so when you're doing a line sheet, basically all a line sheet is, if we break this down, it's pretty much just pictures instead of words. So you would have a picture of, say, lavender candle, and underneath it would say lavender 2.1 or whatever word you're going to skew or number or name you're going to give it, and so on. Yes, yeah, Leanne, if you're going to make soap, somebody's asking if you're doing wholesale for soap, do you make them in advance? You can, or on any of these platforms, you need to say, you know, that there will be, you know, a 4-week or 6-week lead time before they exit your premises. So if you're making wholesale soap, you can do it that way and make it after. But, you know, honestly, most people that order from there, they want the stuff because they've got to shop. They want it now and to go. But if you're going to do wholesale, you could even start with saying, okay, I'm only going to offer, for instance, 5 soaps for wholesale. And, you know, choose your 5 best scents and do those ones in advance. And then if anyone wants anything else, well, they'll contact you and say, do you have anything else? And I do get people contacting me even through Instagram saying, look, do you do wholesale? And now I'm like, please go over to Trade Square. That is all my wholesale prices. It cuts out you having to send an invoice and manually do it. They literally just log onto the platform, they buy the things and go. And I mean, yes, you do get charged the fees, but honestly, I just think it's smoother and easier, you know, because if you start to manually do some, then you've got a Shopify, then you've got Facebook ones, then you've got this and that. It's just too many platforms to keep, and it actually is quite overwhelming. And there was a stage where I actually felt a little bit overwhelmed because I just had too many platforms to do all of these things. So I suggest that you just, you know, choose one. It doesn't have to be Trade Square. Go on whatever you like. But, you know, just look into them first. Do some reading and understanding it. But in Australia, like I said, I wanted to support more of an Australian one. Oh, that's fine, lovely. That's fine. So, yeah, I mean, you don't have to make it in advance. And I guess, like, if you're a jewelry maker, for instance, you could make all, you know, just 1 pair of each and show them that's what you got. As long as if you tell them that your lead time is 3 days, and lead time means how long it's going to take to get it out the door, then you would have to make them within that lead time and get them out. So, but I think for a soap maker, honestly, you probably need to do a few in advance, which is what I've done. I don't have massive stock in advance. Like some things I'll have 20 of, some 10, some 5, some 50. But, you know, choose the things that you think will sell, you know, or even if you've got a site at the moment and, for instance, bath bombs are a big seller, I'll put them on. And generally for wholesale, the one thing that, and I've only been on there maybe 4 or 5 days. I've had 2 orders in 4 or 5 days, just to let everyone know this how it's worked for me. But then remember, your orders are hundreds of dollars. They're not $50 or anything. And the biggest thing that I've sold is bath bombs, diffusers, and body butter. What's the minimum amount of stock that you keep? Well, for me, Trish, it really depends. Like soap, I probably have 800 soap at the moment curing. So I have a lot of soap because I know that's going to be a big seller. And last Christmas, I sold hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of bars. And, you know, I wasn't on these platforms. I really wasn't. And I know this sounds silly, everyone, but we're getting to halfway through the year. You need to start to think of Christmas because stores start looking at buying for Christmas in August. So, and already, like, we're nearly June. So if you're a soap maker, you need to start thinking about making it in June, getting ready for the Christmas rush, because a lot of stores will actually be looking now for Christmas stock getting up to that. So load them onto your website. I would say by the 1st of September, you should start to have Christmas stock. If, you know, if for instance, you don't have to do Christmas, but if you're a person that does, you know, candles that are Christmas themed or soaps that, you know, are red, green and white or something like that, you need to think of that as well. Oh, that's fine, Leanne. Yeah, these are all little tips, aren't they, that just kind of keep you going. But one thing, Trish, that I was going to say, if for instance you made, we'll pretend body butter. Now body butter, you could write on there that you have 2,000 body butters. I wouldn't write that, but you could write that even if you don't, because you could make that in one day. So if somebody ordered it, then you could go, okay, I've got to make that. Just make sure you got the ingredients. But, if it was something like that, or, a bath bomb that you could make in 1 or 2 days and doesn't need that big curing time, they're the sort of things that you could just write that you had. You could write that in your inventory because you can make that in time. But, just make sure you're confident in being able to deliver. Because what actually happens is there's a section on these websites that says the customer can say delivered on time, not, or whatever. Do I have a minimum quantity, Christine? No, what actually happens on it, so you don't really get to choose that. You get to choose that, so it depends on the different sites, but on Trade Square where I'm at, they have a minimum. Someone has to order $100 or more. Obviously for wholesale, you're not going to let someone buy $20 because they'll just get it cheap. And people have to register, so they can't just see the price. They have to register, provide their ABN, and provide that they are a legitimate business. And you can exclude businesses. So if you, for instance, don't want your products in, say, a mechanic store, an electrician store, you could just say no. So that means that somebody that's a mechanic can't just come and buy $100 of soap and get a cheap deal. So you can exclude certain things. Like a lot of people might only include, say, like hotels, spas and all these kind of ones that more relate to our industry. But personally, I didn't do that because I don't care. If somebody's a mechanic and wants to stock my, soap in their mechanic store, well, great. It's just another store. Someone's going to see my product. I guess as you grow more, there might be a time where you go, hey, I don't want it in certain stores, or there might be certain stores that you think you don't want your brand to be stocked in there. So then that's when you can exclude certain industries or something. But by doing that, it kind of just does exclude people. And I feel that, do we really have that right to stop somebody being able to buy it and selling it in their store if they want to? I mean, yes, we do. It's our product, but I don't know. That to me, that's a bit of a fine line of, being kind of judging and, just judging another person on, as long as my products are displayed beautifully, they look lovely and so on. And the thing is that's good, you can actually see where these people are from. So you can see what their store's called, because their company has to be included into it. So for instance, if it was, we'll just say Lush, if it was Lush, you'd be able to see it and you could go in the store and see. So, and they don't know really who you are, they're just seeing pictures. And the good thing, if you have a Shopify, you can migrate. So they do the work. You don't have to do it. They basically just log into yours and migrate them together. But there are things like you have to create a banner. There is a lot of background work and a lot of interviews to go through this process. It's not just overnight. So, it has taken me quite a few weeks to get this set up. And I always feel that I'm pretty okay on a computer. I mean, of course, my husband does help me a lot, but like there's some people that can't do, a lot of these other programs, which I can do with a lot of learning, but, you sort of have to understand a little bit of that or have someone that can help you. Or if you want to go on these things, you can tell them straight out, look, I don't know how to do this, and they will actually get somebody to help you. So that is one thing that is really good. They can actually get people in to help. So if you don't know what you're doing, just say, look, I really need help. I cannot do this, but I want to do, I want to do wholesale. So like I said, try and have some things backed up, have a list, and you don't have to offer everything for wholesale. So you might say, well, I'm only going to offer bath bombs and soap, for instance. For sale, me, I didn't. I said everything except for sale. So if I have sale items that are in the category on my website that say sale, they can't get wholesale on that. They can get wholesale in anything else, which is good for you because it just means if you want something to go on sale, then remove it from the category it's in, put it into the sale section, and then they can't have it because unless they want to pay full price, which sometimes will have things that are really good, so you can do that as well. Oh, that's okay, Christine, that's fine. You're absolutely welcome, lovely. So, yeah, so like I said, that is a little bit about Wholesale as well. Now, a few people have asked me some questions this week about, how I got to the stage of growing my Instagram and growing YouTube. So that it's been a question I've asked quite a bit, like what were my steps to actually getting there? If I'm going to be really honest, my steps honestly were, I just decided I was going to post pretty much every day on Instagram. And once I started doing reels, people just, they just started following me more because it's more interesting. It's easy to watch. You don't have to do a lot of reading. But also when you do posts, if you do like some paragraphs about what you think people will be interested in to bring more value, that's where I have got more followers. But I don't look at it as numbers in followers because, you can see someone with 20,000 followers, but it doesn't mean they're all engaging in that post. And you need people to comment. You need people to talk. Otherwise, your reels won't get pushed further up. And you'll notice that a lot of my reels are getting more traction. And it's because I get more people commenting. So they're pushed further. So that's basically how it works. The same on TikTok as well. Oh, for editing my video, I just use iMovie. That's all I use. Although when we did, hi Carly, welcome, lovely. When we did the video with the Shopify Lady House of Cart, with that particular one, we did it on Zoom. So we recorded it on Zoom. And then we had a bit of an issue with the background audio because it just taped me and froze me and didn't get Anna. So then we had to, my husband went on, I think it's iShot or something. So he ended up going on that as well. Could you do only 2 products on wholesale? Yeah, you can do anything you want. Some of the biggest companies earning the biggest amount of money are, only have 3 or 4 products. So don't feel like you need thousands of products to be on wholesale. You don't. You might have, say, for instance, candles and bath bombs and say, hey, I'll do them in 20 cents. So, yeah. So that's okay, Leanne. Yeah, so I use those particular programs. And if you've got an iPhone, honestly, iMovie is the easiest one to understand and start. It doesn't have, massive features on your phone like a lot of these other programs do. But for me, it was once my husband had shown me the basis of doing it, it was easy for me to go, okay, I understand this. I can do it. I can load more videos. And, for instance, if you're doing a reel, all you want to do is literally get your camera and just go, over a product for like 3 seconds. So what I do is I go over a product for 3 seconds and I'll do that, say at the start of it, the middle of it, pouring it and so on. Yeah, and it's totally free, Leanne. You're right. It is free. Yeah, totally free. That's why I actually like iMovie. If you've got an iPhone, you can use that. So, yeah, it's really good. And that's the one thing I like. And reels on Instagram are free to do as well. Canva, some things are free, but you need a pro account to do certain things that I do on there. So if you're trying to do videos on Canva, that's a bit harder because it actually does cost money for some of the features. Not all of them. A lot of them is free, but there's, if you want to take the background off and things like that, that costs money. So, So with Canva, so I have the pro account, which is $17 a month Australian. That's Australian money. It's probably like 21 or 22 the US. But yeah, and so like the thing is too, lots of people will say, add this app, add that app. And before you know it, it's so expensive. So to give you an idea, in a month, I pay almost $100 to Shopify for my site. And that is because I have the 2 sites and then I also have an app on one of the sites to buy tickets because you have to have an app to be able to sell tickets for the conference. So that's what I mean. Like even things like the conference, the money for the conference, all of these tickets and things, I've got to pay for this for the whole year for all of these apps. So, sometimes you can add all these apps and they just end up costing you so much money. It's really hard because, like I said, you've got all these different apps. So I have a ticket app. Obviously, I have 2 Shopifys to pay for a month. And, then of course we've got normal things like insurance and, products and materials and things like that. So that all costs money, which is really hard. And that's why I do have YouTube and Patreon. That actually does help me pay for those things. So, because I get lots of questions on, how do you actually pay for these? Well, that's how, at the start, I had to actually fund everything myself, which was really difficult. And that's why lots of people have a job and they keep their job until they can actually fund it a bit more on different sort of platforms and things like that. And even Patreon, it takes a long time to sort of get your post going, to get your kind of feel on vibe on what you want to do for your Patreon. So look, I just do my own thing, and I just hope that it really does bring value, because that's what I'm trying to. So I say you can't do it for the money, you have to do it for the love. And then of course, look, let's be honest, we've all got to be paid. At the end of the day, you can't just be doing something you love for free, because it does cost money. But, if you just did it for money, you'd give up in a year, honestly. It takes a long time. And most people will say it takes 3 to 4 years before you really start earning a wage. And I agree with that. I 100% agree. So to give you an idea, even things like buying the shea butter, that cost me $1,000 every time I buy it in bulk, because I buy shea butter with cocoa in a group, and it's around about, I think it's like 900 actually, like maybe 910 or something. Oh, can I tell you more about Patreon? How does it work? So basically with Patreon, honestly, before I signed up, I'd never seen a Patreon, because I thought, what is it? And that's why I didn't want to do it, because I just thought, is it just taking money from people? And I didn't want to do that. I wanted it to actually have value. So basically what it is, so you've got YouTube, which obviously that's free, and we do earn money from videos you watch. But to give you an idea, some videos a month, I might only earn 1 cent on YouTube. That's how low it is. Some you earn $10, some more, but it's, and to put this in perspective, this month alone, I had on YouTube, I think it was 250,000 minutes watched. That is a lot of money, and I'll probably get $400 for that a month. So it's not a lot of money to run a YouTube. So to give you, that's just to give you an idea, to break it down. That's how it works. And then Patreon, what happens is people can choose what's called a tier. So on mine, there is 4 tiers. So you can join for $5 a month, $7.50 a month, $10 a month, or you can join for $20 a month. So, and what happens in those tiers is you get different things. And so when I load things, I will say, okay, all the tiers can have it, or only 1 or 2. So the $5 one, honestly, that's just supporting me. You're not getting much for it at all, and not many people join on that. But for $7.50 or $10, they are the ones that people join the most. $7.50, it gives you all the recipes that I don't put on YouTube anymore. And this sounds really horrible, but the reason I don't put it on YouTube is I just don't earn enough money for my work. And it takes me a long time to formulate, and I'm more than happy to give pretty much all the recipes that I do give them. So Patreon is about giving you recipes, and then I have blogs on it that I don't share on YouTube. It's only for Patreon members. And you can buy a year in advance. So if you buy for a year, then you get a discount as well, so it brings the price down. Or you can actually just go on there and you can pay per month, and you can leave anytime. You're not in a contract or anything like that. It just means for a month you get that. Now, one thing that you do need to remember on Patreon, everybody, is some people have things that are called locked. When I say locked, it might mean they say for this month, for instance, there might be all of May, you'll get 3 recipes. Or they'll bring 1 recipe back. Or if they don't do that, it will be something else. They'll be offering something else. But, for me, I don't keep anything locked, which means anything I post on there for years, anyone can see it. I don't. So a lot of, creators, they will, design something, and you only get to see that for 1 or 2 months or 3 months, and then it's taken away. And it's just, to give, so that they're sort of still getting paid and still getting people there. That's what it is. And they should be paid. Everyone should be, because, like, for me, this is my full-time job. This is the only way I get paid money is on YouTube, Patreon, and of course selling my things, the same as all of the other creators. So it is really hard, but Patreon is about you're giving something to us, and we're giving something back. So basically, we're giving you all the recipes, some insights, some business knowledge, some blogs, and some community. Lots of people have the community, and then from there I also do have a little Facebook group And, we've had a few people joining that lately. So I think we've only got 65 people in that Facebook group, and anyone can join that. You just go on and just log in, and you can see what everyone's doing. You can post pictures of what you're making, and, questions and things like that. But that's quite new, the Facebook one. But that is in a group. So it's just in a private group, but you can just go into that one as well, which is just Nelson Sopery. So you can look that one up as well. But yeah, that's pretty much how Patreon works. So for me, what I do is give, so they get, so when you see a video on YouTube that has ads, when you're on Patreon, you don't have to have the ads. You just watch the video through. The ads are taken away. So that's just something to do with Patreon as well. They don't have to watch ads. And also they get the videos before anyone else. Usually a day before, they will get them to watch. And then I will put recipes and all different things down below, or sometimes I'll give you a twist on how you can change the formula. So for instance, if somebody made a soap that had palm oil in it, you might want it palm free, and they might give you an alternative on how to do it. So anyway, hopefully that sort of helps with Patreon, but that's just a basis of how it works. So once you go on there, so there's links on most of my videos to Patreon, and you can go on there and you can actually see before you pay any money. You can see what, sort of roughly what you're going to get. You won't see any recipes or anything, but it will give you a rundown about what my Patreon or what someone else's Patreon's all about. And you're from there. But not everyone joins. You don't have to. But like I said, it does give you the recipes and things like that just to help you out. And then I haven't done it yet, but next Saturday, everybody, will be the day when we will do it. So on my Patreon, for people in the $7.50 or higher, then I think it's $7.50, I can't remember, but you'll see it on there. Anyway, we have a live tutorial, and it's always about making a product. So I'm actually going to teach everybody how to make magnesium bath bombs. So that will be next week. So we will go on there and make some magnesium bath bombs, which are super great for those sore muscles, and you can also pop them into the bath. So that's something extra that I offer, and lots of different creators will offer something different. They might just do something a little bit different that somebody else does, or polls and things. So it's kind of like a community you can be involved in. But anyway, hopefully I have explained all of that with Patreon and how everything works. But, I still wanted to offer content on YouTube for everybody, because not everyone can afford Patreon, and I don't want people to feel that they have to join. So if you can't afford that, it's fine. You can still see things on YouTube, and all of my original videos that have all recipes in them are still on YouTube. So you can still see all of those things as well. So don't worry, you can see all those. They'll never be taken down. And if anyone asks, I always say go back and have a look at that as well. Oh, hi, Kim. How are you, love? I hope you're having a nice, very chilly Melbourne weather, because we're almost in winter. So for anyone in the US, our winter starts on the 1st of June, I think. So we are getting into our winter, and where I live, it's very cold. It's like, it gets down to 1 degree or something Celsius overnight. So it's damn cold here. But yeah, so like I said, everyone, so we've talked about Wholesale a little bit. We've talked about Patreon and how that works. And we've talked about Reels and, gaining traction. Now, the one thing that I wanted to talk about as well, when you're, because, we'll talk about getting followers. That's what a lot of people ask me. And the thing about getting followers is, if you want to drive, when I say drive, let's talk about this, because some people don't understand the words that I might use. When I say drive customers, it means you want to get customers that, if you've got customers on YouTube, you want to get them and you want to push them to your website. So you want to say, it'll be in your post. Hey, check out our website, go and see what we're doing, join our emailing list, and so on. There's little things that people can actually do to get more customers. So for me, one of the things that I've done on my website is I have an email list. And obviously you want people on that email list because you can send them out an email and they can see what you're doing. So I usually send out one a week, I think it is roughly. I send out, sometimes more, sometimes less. And in the email, it will talk about a new product that I've got, or what's happening, or something like that. Or, go and check us out on Marketplace, or I'll give discount codes in there and people can see it. So you want people to go from your Instagram to your Shopify site or whatever site you've got and join up to your emailing list. So I think I have around 100 or so on my emailing list. And so whenever I send one email out, it goes to 100 people. And usually you will get at least one person buy something from that. So email marketing can boost your sales up to 30%. That is the statistic number that they say with that. But with that, you need to give really engaging posts. And I just think when you send out an email marketing thing, which all it is basically is, you would make, and it's, if you have a Shopify site, it's within Shopify. You just push on marketing and then create campaign is what it's called. And then you can just put in images and you can change the words. So you can say, hey, look at my new blog, or, look at my Patreon that's changed. Come over and join us, whatever you want to talk about. And then you can put links in and things like that. So that's a little bit about, the marketing. And so that's like a bit of a strategy for me. Obviously, you're going to drive people from one to your site. So then, they can see what you're doing. They can join you and they can get emails, because you just never know. Someone might go, hey, it's my friend's birthday, really need something. Oh, that's fantastic. I'll just buy it. And look, can I tell everyone this? This is so important. When I first started, I thought, look, I have to give sales all the time. And I always thought, I'll just get rid of something. I have to do a sale here, sale there. The problem with that is people start waiting for the sales. So then they won't pay full price. So that's the hardest thing. So you really have to tell yourself, no, I'd rather have no sales than just put everything on sale. So try not to give too many sales away, because when you do that, it makes it really difficult for people as well. And another thing that I do with mine as well is anyone on my emailing list, once a month, I choose a person on that list and they will receive some goods from me. They'll receive a box for free. And that box is sent out to their house. It's usually a surprise. They don't know. Sometimes if they haven't bought from me, but they're on that list, I'll have to contact them and say, what's your address? I'm sending you out a present. You've been chosen this month. So, and I just, draw them out. So I just choose a number, roll a dice, and whatever it comes up, that's the person that is on the list, 10th down, 20th down, 100th down, whatever. And then they get, whatever it is. So that's, for me, that's what I do. And they're just little things that you can do, and it keeps your customers engaged. It gets them to join your site, and it also gets them to try your products. Maybe they can't afford it. Maybe they don't, they're a bit like, oh, I don't know if I really want to try it. There might be another soaper. It doesn't matter. But, you just, by doing that, it's engaging and it's showing people that you're giving back. You're not just trying to be greedy, getting the money, but, you do really want people to try your products and see. Oh, thank you, Christine. Thank you. Yeah, but that's just something I do. Not everyone does that, but it's just something I wanted to do. And, they're just, look, let's be honest. These are all strategies. These are business strategies, because you want people to join your list. You want people to follow you. This is how you get known. And don't think, oh, well, they're a soaper, I'm not going to, send them something, or I'm not going to let them be in a post. Let everyone be in a post, because I have a lot of soapers that buy from me. So, a lot of candle makers buy from me and I buy from them. So, because if I make all sweet candles, for instance, I might have a birthday coming up that I want a sandalwood candle that I don't do, and then I'll buy it from someone else. So that's what I mean, always kind of look at that. So whether you're on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, whatever, you always want to be saying to people, hey, make sure you check out my site, blah, blah, this is my site. And that's why you'll see on my YouTube, I always have listed in the description my website and Patreon, things like that, because it drives people back to those sites. And then that's how your business gets known. And I actually didn't realize, but my daughter said to me that I have a tag with my business name. Oh, thank you, Christine. That is so nice. That's so nice. Thank you. And, she was just saying she doesn't even have or make soap, but she just likes the tips. And it doesn't matter whether you're, a jewelry business, a mechanic. These are all, tips that you could use just to drive people back to your business. Whatever you're doing, it works. Because I was a manager in retail as well, off and on, in between my children and babies, they're the sort of things that retail stores do. That's why you get these marketing messages from them, because they know out of sending 1,000, there's going to be at least 10 people that are going to click on, and they only need 1 or 2 people to buy something, and that's a sale they wouldn't have had before. So it is a marketing strategy to get people there, to get people to buy your product. And even if they don't buy it, even if they go, oh, not another email from her again, it puts your company in their mind, negative or positive. It's still like, oh, okay, yeah, I remember that company. So, and as I was saying, one of my daughters said that my Instagrams and, like TikToks and all of that, they have their own hashtag, which I didn't realize. And it says Nelson Sopery hashtag, and I think it's says something like 30,000. Which means they've been shared, or people have used them, or whatever, bought my products and tagged me in. So that's the thing. As things get further on, you'll be tagged in. And, we are in a world of social media. This is a new world, everyone, for selling. This is not like it used to be when I was young. I mean, I'm going to be 50 this year. When I was young, you would just go to a store and buy something. It's not like that now. Young people buy a lot online. They don't, and especially with COVID, they just buy online. So it's a new world, and I really don't think we're going to see bricks and mortar stores like we used to. We will still have them, but they're not going to be like they were. So if you don't know how to do social media, you need to teach yourself. I've taught myself, or my young daughter, Annie is 14 now. She taught me everything on TikTok. She really did. And I think I have over 7,500 followers, I think, roughly, on TikTok. And she taught me everything on that. So if you've got kids, grandkids, get them involved. Say, hey, help me, help mum do this. And they feel proud to actually be able to help you, because it's a knowledge they have that we might not have. So, get them. Say, hey, this is what I want to do on my TikTok. How do I do it? And she taught me how to do all these reels, how to do highlights. That's another thing on reels, how to do stories. They're just things like this. And they all do bring in customers. They bring in value as well to people. Oh, hello, Brenny. How are you, my love? Welcome to our chat. We will be finishing up in a few minutes. But you did get here, so you got here before the end of the punch, as my dad would say. So, yeah, but, these are all things, everybody, that you need to do. And, and then as we were talking about wholesale before with Trade Square, so they say usually you'll get 2 orders a week is pretty normal for people starting. So, they expect that you'll get a couple of those. And then, of course, as time goes on, more and more people will find you and so on. But I think actually something like Trade Square, and I think I put a link in one of my other videos. I'll see if I can find the link and I'll pop it in this at the end so you can see that. And so for anyone wanting to buy wholesale or anything, you get like $100 off, I think, the first one with this link. They give you a link to give to people just so that people know where your site is and so on. But what was I saying about it? Oh, so usually you'll get a couple orders a month, but it's best to join at a time like now or the next few months, because when you join in September, you're not getting a real gauge of what people are buying, because Christmas, all stores go crazy. They just buy whatever they can because a lot of people are out of stock. So, and it's the same as me last year when I did wholesale. I was getting thousands and thousands of dollars of orders. And then after Christmas, you can go to literally no orders. Or 1 a week, So I hear lots of stores saying, oh, they did tens of thousands of dollars from September to December, get to January, and the crickets are singing and there's not even 1 order. So you've got to remember that, yes, you'll have all that money, but you kind of need that money to tie you over for a few months after Christmas when everyone's trying to catch up on selling their stuff and getting back on track. So, but I hope that our talk about wholesale a little bit, reels, and social media and doing all of that has kind of helped everyone a bit, because honestly, they're the biggest questions I get all the time is, how do they sell wholesale? How do they make the business work? And the best advice for working is get yourself an email list. Just keep posting. Don't worry if no one even notices your post. Don't worry if you get 1 like. At the start, I didn't even have anyone like anything when I first started. But as time goes on, people like you. You don't have to be on YouTube to have lots of subscribers or people liking your things. As long as you use like Reels and Instagram's one of the biggest ones, and TikTok, as long as you use those and just get people engaged all the time about what you're doing, and create a community. Like, just make sure you're giving value. There's no good just putting a picture of a soap and going, hey, buy my soap, because people are going to go, no. But if you actually bring value, like if you say, oh, look, I made this, and, people love to hear a stuff up. So if you say to them, oh, I buggered this up, the first one I did was disaster, but now we have made this formula. It's absolutely gorgeous. And these are the products in it. Try it out if you like this or this. But you're just bringing value of, a bit of some social interaction to somebody that could be lonely as well. And not just that, but you're the face of your company. So let people know you, let people like you, because really that's what they want. They actually want to like you, and then they want to engage with you, and then that will go further as well. Oh, yeah, Joe is saying, like, it is a little overwhelming when you're older, and this is a new world of these things. But honestly, everybody, even now, I still watch YouTube all the time. I watch so many just different videos on different marketing and different tips, and try lots myself. Some don't work, some do work. SEO is something I don't advise people to go out and pay for, because that's basically when you pay a company to help your business be higher ranked on YouTube or Google or all of those things. But the thing is, you've got people that are paying $500,000 a month, these massive companies that are paying huge fees, and you just can't compete with them. So honestly, it's not worth it unless you have big money to spend every month. So I don't advise anyone ever doing that. I've done it, and it's just a huge loss. Like, let me be honest here. I've never made money out of, never made sales out of it. So don't do that. It's better just to constantly do Reels. And if you've got a Shopify site, you can send out these email marketing's free. You don't actually have to pay for that. It's totally free. And there are different apps and things, but don't start with all the apps. Yeah, you may be nervous, Brenny, to do videos, and I totally understand that. Look, everyone thinks I'm super confident, but honestly, I'm a real introvert. I like to be alone a lot of the time. Yeah, that's right, Kim, too. Kim's saying, like, you can offer 10% or something else, and it does help people go, oh, well, I'll buy that. The same as, let me tell you this before I go. I have to say this. One person, well, not one, I've had lots of people ask me about different strategies on getting people to buy more on your site. Now, when you've got a site, so this is normal. In Australia, a lot of people charge $9.95 for shipping. Let me be honest here. Shipping for me costs about $15 per person. So I'm paying for that. And all the stuff that goes within the wrapping, often it costs me more than what I charge. But another thing to think about as well, I have on my site, spend $79 or more and you get free shipping. Now, when you have things like that, people love free shipping. So people might have only gone on there to buy $20 and they go, stuff it, I'm going to buy $70 or $80 because I want that free shipping. It makes people buy more. So that's what, that is really important. So if you have a Shopify site that has a feature in it, definitely do that in your site. Make sure you're writing free shipping if you spend $100, or if you spend that, make sure it's $80 or more. Otherwise, you're not going to make enough money. So you really want to do that. But it's amazing the amount of people that will actually do that. So I definitely suggest that you do not offer free shipping for everything. Because if you offer free shipping, people will only buy one soap. Yeah, that's right, Maria. And lots of people have purchased more. I've done it myself. You go, oh, free shipping. Bugger, I'm paying another $20. I'll buy extra. I mean, when I buy in Vistaprint, I spend the extra $20, $30 to get the free shipping because I don't want to pay $10, which is funny. But anyway, that's just a strategy to make people buy more. So when you've got your site, make sure you put that on there. It's definitely something that will help you out. So anyway, like I said, this is the end of our chat. We've been on here long enough. You're sick of my Aussie accent. So we will go, and I will definitely see all you friends next Sunday. So for now, have an amazing day. If you're in Melbourne, rug up because I know it is cold. And I'll see you next week. Bye, everyone.